What's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back to another video today, and today we're going to be talking about a potential signing for the Houston Rockets. As during the NBA draft, I think it was during the second round. The Milwaukee Bucks, I think they traded for like the 36th overall pick, and I think they traded like for the Magic's 36th overall pick. And when this trade happened, Woj reported that the Houston Rockets, now we knew the Houston Rockets, obviously my favorite team, the Rockets, were a candidate to sign Brook Lopez this offseason, but Adrian Wojnarowski revealed after the Bucks traded for this 36th overall pick in the draft on Thursday night that the Houston Rockets are a real threat to potentially sign Brook Lopez. And just to be honest, it made me think that we actually have a chance to sign Brook Lopez. And I honestly thought there was no way Brook Lopez would come here. And I'm not saying, when I say, he doesn't want to come here, I'm not saying that because we were terrible last year. If you just view it as, this is a team that has Jabari Smith Jr. and Alperen Sengun, and Brook Lopez, a guy who is aging. I think he's 35 years old. He still had a great season last year. Had one of his best seasons at 35 years old of his career. I mean, obviously not because Nets Brook Lopez was amazing, but his blocks were I think he averaged like 2.5 or 3 blocks per game. His 3-point percentage as a big man was unbelievable. I think he averaged 15 or 17 points per game. He was amazing. It just with having Alperen Sengun and Jabari Smith Jr., I just really don't know if I see Brook Lopez wanting to come to the Houston Rockets. I mean, that's the only thing that and I feel like if the Rockets overpay him in free agency, all right, yeah, he'll probably come if we overpay him. And then I would love Brook Lopez on this team because he provides 3-point shooting when we were horrible at 3-point shooting last season. He provides shot blocking. I love Alperen Sengun. He's one of my favorite players on the Rockets, and I think with Ime Udoka coming in, the offense is going to be built more around Alperen Sengun. But Alperen Sengun is not a good shot blocker. So good defense from Brook Lopez, good 3-point shooting from Brook Lopez. You're adding in those two things that the Rockets need badly: shot blocking and defense help, and 3-point shooting help. So Brook Lopez is providing those two things right there. It's just, what is Brook Lopez's role here? Is he going to be coming off the bench for the Rockets? Because you would think because he could go to the Milwaukee Bucks and he can go re-sign with the Milwaukee Bucks for the same type of deal to be the starting center for a championship contender, and instead of going to the Rockets where he's where he's gonna have a less role than he did on the Bucks, because you got a guy like Alperen Sengun and Jabari Smith Jr. So it doesn't make sense. I love Brook Lopez aboard. I don't see why I just don't see a way where the Rockets. I feel like the Rockets would have to overpay for Brook Lopez to come here, and I'd love to add in Brook Lopez to the Rockets because I think it'd be a genius signing for this team. But does he come off the bench? And this is going to sound stupid. Does Alperen Sengun come off the bench? Do you go crazy and put Brook Lopez at the 5, Alperen Sengun at the 4, and Jabari Smith Jr. at the 3, and then Jalen Green at the 2, and Amen Thompson at the 1, and then Cam Whitmore off the bench with Cam Whitmore, KPJ, KJ, and Tari off the bench? That's an idea. I really don't know how it would work for the Rockets, and not only that, it's not like Brook Lopez would be the only free agent we bring in, because we'd sign another free agent besides Brook Lopez, whether it be Dylan Brooks. Honestly, it would make sense if we signed Dylan Brooks and Brook Lopez. We're adding in 2 good 3-point shooters and 2 good defenders. I'll be honest, I didn't want Brook Lopez to come to the Rockets at first, but I will say this. I have no problem saying it. The Rockets' defense will be one of the best defenses in the NBA next season if they potentially sign Brook Lopez and Dillon Brooks in free agency. You have Amen Thompson, and just a good defender he is. Brook Lopez, how good of a shot blocker he is. Dillon Brooks, how good of a defender he is. He's been All NBA defensive on the All NBA defensive team, I think 1 or 2 times. And then who else? You got KJ being a solid shot blocker. KPJ averaged, I think, 2.5 steals per two. I think did KPJ average 2 or 2.5 steals per game last season? KPJ being really good at getting steals. Jason Tate and Tari Eason's defense. What else am I missing? I think that's pretty much it for our defense. But honestly, and then with Ime Udoka running that whole thing, I feel like the Rockets would be one of the best defenses in the NBA next year. So I'm really thinking as of right now, I think the most realistic 2 signings for the Rockets this offseason have to be Brook Lopez and Dillon Brooks, with how the Rockets are trying to improve the defense and improve the 3-point shooting. And I would love Brook Lopez to come to the Rockets. I just don't see how that would work with, having Sengun and Jabari Smith Jr. But if the Rockets and Brook Lopez can figure that out, because the number one thing you cannot do is put Alperen Sengun on the bench. But who knows? Maybe Brook Lopez is willing to come off the bench. He's 35 years old. Maybe he is willing to come off the bench for the Houston Rockets. Potentially, if you give him a lot of minutes, but off the bench, he probably would be willing to maybe come to the Rockets. You give him a fair contract and he's coming off the bench, I feel like he would be willing to come to the Rockets. But it scares me that maybe there's a potential chance that if Brook Lopez is, potentially signing with the Rockets, would that mean the Rockets would maybe try to move Alperen Sengun? Which my answer to that is no way, but I would say never say never. But it would be a good signing for the Rockets, but we'll see if it happens, as the Rockets are a real threat to sign Brook Lopez in free agency. You guys have more thoughts. That's it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Go Rockets.